Nick Walker believes Mr. Olympia title within reach. Bodybuilding champion. Nick Walker believes his chances of winning the Mr. Olympia title are within reach. Nick Walker, a two-time New York pro and Arnold Classic winner, knows what it means to win a prestigious event. The biggest title that has eluded Nick Walker is the Mr. Olympia, bodybuilding's biggest and most prestigious title. Nick Walker stepped on the Mr. Olympia stage twice in his relatively short pro career. In 2021, Nick Walker shocked the bodybuilding world by placing fifth on his Olympia debut. In 2022, Nick Walker improved on his fifth-place finish the previous year to finish third, behind Hadi Choopan and Derek Lunsford. Due to injury and other problems, Nick Walker did not compete at the 2023 and 2024 Mr. Olympia. In his recent podcast with Guy's sister Nino, Nick Walker gives his opinion about 2024 Mr. Olympia Samson Dauda, Hadi Choopan, and Derek Lunsford. It must be noted that Samson, Derek, and Hadi are all Mr. Olympia winners.
Let's talk about the Olympia.
For sure.
So you being out of the Olympia obviously changed a lot of the dice with how this thing kind of played out.
Yeah.
You had Derek in third, you had Hadi in second, and you had Samson in first. I think a lot of people could have argued a couple different ways on this one. And I think you did make a post that said, I have Samson winning, and this is just my opinion.
I did. Yeah.
So give me the breakdown as to your 1, 2, and 3 and why. And
I think Samson won just because I think he came back better than he always is. I think he was a touch leaner than he normally is. Waist was a lot tighter than it normally is. And obviously I think he has good posing. And I personally, I just think Hadi and Derek were just off compared to last year. And Hadi did not look like the way he did at the Arnold for this Olympia. I think he came in off a little smaller maybe. And Derek, I do think, I think Derek just missed the mark. I think his legs disappeared a little bit. I think his front was still softer.
shallow.
And, and it's not, yeah. His back shots are still a strong point. I mean, I didn't really see a flaw there too much.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was like a peaking thing with him or not, but he just missed the mark. So
If all three were at their best, who would you have had in first, second, third?
see, that's hard because even with Derek winning the year that he did, I still don't think that's Derek's best. And
So we don't know what his
Hadi's
best is.
Yeah, and I think Hadi's best was at the Arnold
Yeah.
when he beat Samson. So if we're gonna base just off of that, so we'll just say Derek's Olympia last year and then Hadi at the Arnold as their best, and then I probably would have gone with Hadi.
And what about Samson in that mix?
If Derek,
Because
looked like the way he did
would you
last
say
year,
Samson's best was this Olympia, correct?
I would, yeah. And
Yeah.
see, the thing is, and I don't want to take any credit away from him. Like, he deservingly won.
No, he won. End of story. There's nothing to take away from the guy. But we can still critique.
Right. I think if Derek and Hadi showed up the way they should have showed up, I think it probably would have been the same thing as last year, except I think Hadi could have taken it.
So Hadi won, Derek 2, Samson 3.
Yeah, the thing with Hadi that none of the other two have that Hadi has is Hadi just has that fucking granite hard conditioning that nobody can really contend with. But if Hadi does come slightly off, it does show pretty drastically a little bit, and that's where the other two can take over.
Do you think is going to be your biggest threat this year in the Olympia?
In the Olympia?
Yeah, Samson, Derek, or Hadi.
I mean, if they all come in correct, it'll be all of them, right? But
obviously.
If I had to narrow it down, I always said Hadi.
Yeah.
I always said Hadi. Because I think, I
The only thing Hadi has going against him is his age. He's a little older. So is Samson.
It's starting to show, in my opinion, in Hadi's backside.
And his conditioning, I think, is also going to start being affected by it.
I think so. So I think Derek's beatable.
And Samson's what, 38? 37, 8?
Third, yeah, I think he's like 38, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are fucking knocking on retired doors. Once you get to 40, it's hard, man. It just is. I don't give a fuck who
Yeah.
you are.
But
38 and 39 slap me in the face.
I've beaten Samson. Samson's beaten me. So I think he's beatable. I mean, I haven't beaten Derek or Hadi, but I firmly believe I can beat Derek. And I also think I can beat Hadi, but I think Hadi will just be my ultimate biggest challenge when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Who do you think out of you four, who could be the one to hold the title the longest? Because I think you all have an argument that you can all be at arm's reach to get it. And I don't think anybody would argue that you four are very close to being Mr. Olympias, each one of you. But who do you think would be the reigning champ that would have it the longest out of you four? Who do you think is the one most capable of having the stamina to keep that title for that long?
See, it's I could
Because
say
that's a hard thing to do.
it is, right? So I could say,
Because you got to be all the fuck in, dude.
but that's what I'm saying, because I could say Samson, if he ever came in completely bone dry, I almost think could be a very unbeatable type of look. We just haven't seen it yet. And that's why I said he deservingly won the Olympia. And I said that a million times, but he still left the door a little open there. I don't think Derek has fully nailed it, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think when he won, obviously he's progressed year to year.
That was his best, but it wasn't his best.
It's not his best. Like, it's not.
Yes.
He could have been better.
Yeah.
I think we have seen Hadi at his best.
Yes.
And with age, I don't know if he's gonna be able to get better or stay the same or start to get a little worse. You know, he's been posting pictures, and I think he looks crazy again. So, I mean, we'll see. And then there's me. The only downfall that I have, which I think I'm working on, a couple downfalls, I think is like my quad sweep, and obviously my waist will always be a structural flaw for me.
37.
But I think if I always nail it, I think I could win a couple titles for sure. But Derek's also got amazing shape. If I had to pick one, dude, I mean, if he nailed it, nailed it, and just stayed consistent year to year, I'd probably pick Derek.
See my screen, right?
What?
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. The only issue with Derek is like he posts all these incredible photos, which they are incredible, but then leading up to a show, it like goes away, you know?
Yeah.
And I normally don't miss a peak. So
this was the picture that blew him up. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Because it was like, yeah, he was fucking.
I mean, that's insane.
Lean as shit. Look at him.
But then you look there and then just look at this picture and look at the legs here. Even here.
As I'm saying, even when he won, he lost his legs too.
You know, like he needs to keep all this. This is gnarly in here. Look at that flare.
I don't. Yeah,
like that's
I don't know.
That's not there here.
No, I don't know what they do, but
yeah, that's crazy. Because his legs are just crazy looking to me.
No, yeah,
he's got some like when his legs look like that. He's got some of the best legs in the industry, without doubt.
I agree.
They're insane.
I agree.
Nick is confident that he can beat Samson Dauda. In 2022, Nick Walker placed third, while Samson had to settle for fifth place. Nick also believes that Derek Lunsford can be defeated, even though he has never defeated him. After reviewing the last two Mr. Olympia events that he did not participate in, Nick believes that there is still more room for improvement from Samson and Derek. If both Samson and Derek are slightly off, they will leave the door wide open for another opponent to take advantage and push them down the placings. Nick also admitted that his biggest challenge is defeating Hadi Choopan, as his condition is unmatched, and both Samson and Derek are far behind Hadi when it comes to condition. While these are bold statements from Nick, at the same time this shows the confidence that Nick has, and he still has a lot to prove. If Nick steps on the Mr. Olympia stage with the size and super condition he is capable of, we can expect some surprises. Nick Walker still needs to earn his 2025 Mr. Olympia qualification. Before Nick Walker can talk about the 2025 Mr. Olympia, he still needs to earn his qualification. Nick Walker decided to skip the 2025 Arnold Classic, as he has just hired a new coach, and feels that he needs more time to be at his best. The 2025 Pittsburgh Power and Fitness event is what Nick is aiming for to earn his Mr. Olympia qualification. The event in Pittsburgh will not be a walk in the park for Walker, as Martin Fitzwater is also planning to compete at this event. At the 2024 New York Pro, Nick defeated Martin, but it did not come without controversy, as many bodybuilding pundits believed Martin should have defeated Nick Walker, who was not at his best. Martin is already qualified for the 2025 Mr. Olympia by finishing in the top 5 and also winning the 2025 Prague Pro event. With Martin already qualified for the 2025 Mr. Olympia, this does not mean he will not feel the pressure of standing next to Nick Walker. Nick defeated him in 2024, and Martin wants to show the world he can defeat Nick Walker. The same cannot be said for Nick Walker, who will have all the pressure to earn his Olympia qualification, and from his side, prove that he was the worthy winner at the 2024 New York Pro. If Nick fails to qualify for the 2025 Mr. Olympia in Pittsburgh, he can easily compete at the 2025 New York Pro, which is taking place just a week later. And if for any reason Nick does not win in Pittsburgh and New York, he try earning his qualification at the California State Pro, which is taking place a week after the New York Pro. There is no excuse for Nick not to earn his qualification for the 2025 Mr. Olympia, but Nick will most probably prefer to earn his qualification at a top event and defeating competitors such as Martin Fitzwater. We can look forward to an exciting 2025 season, and the Muscle News will be covering all the major events.